Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy DJ Immortal, Canada's premier DJ, two-time award-winning DJ at that, Canada's Walk of Fame nominee, and of course, owner of award-winning radio station 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. As you can tell, I got my dirt car racing track official shirt on. I just got back from work. It's probably, what time is it right now? 11:58 p.m. So this is a new series I'm going to be doing here on my YouTube channel, because everyone knows I do my own interviews on the radio station. So the 97.7 FM channel is blowing up, of course, but I want to do my own little thing aside from the radio station. And anybody that knows me personally knows I am an avid comic book reader. I collect comics. I'm a geek. I love Marvel comics. All right, I don't know why I love it, but I also love reading other comic books as well. I just actually upgraded to a filing cabinet, which once I get everything situated and it looks relatively nice, I'm going to be doing a video about that. But every time I do a big comic book haul, I'm going to do a video and just kind of showcase what I found, and also, of course, plug the comic book shop that I found the books at. That way, if you guys like what you see, you can visit the comic book shop and just kind of, take a look around as well. I realize every time I go to a comic book shop, I always find some amazing finds. And today, I'm not going to lie, I found some, excuse my language, I found some shit that I'm super happy that I found. Let's just say in this stack, we have a first appearance comic, a number one of a comic book that is like amazing, okay? And it's not Spider-Man, I wish, but it's actually a number one, very first appearance of a character that I adore. And of course, we also have an autographed book with a COA. We're going to get into that. But I got 35 comic books today. Some of them are newer. Some of them are from the 70s. They're 70s, 80s, and 90s comics. 35 amazing comics. All different grades from poor all the way to very good. 35 comics for $64, man. I'm telling you, this is a big haul. So I'm going to get right into this. First and foremost, I got these comics from a phenomenal comic book shop called Last Century Comics. They're located in Brockville, Ontario, just on the outskirts on Second Concession. The lady Jan that actually owns this place used to own Comic Cave in Brockville, Ontario, Canada, back when I was a kid. So when I went to this comic book shop last Saturday was the first time I went in, it blew my mind. The moment I walked in, I'm like, wow, I have Comic Cave vibes. And she's like, oh yeah, that's me. I used to own it. And she remembered me, even though I'm now 28 years old and I was like 8 or 9. She remembered me running around her store as a kid. So, you know what I mean? I guess I made a lasting impression. And she didn't throw me out of her comic book shop. So I think for once I made a positive and a good first impression on her back in the day. So we're going to kick things off with these books. So first and foremost, and I'm going to tell you the prices I paid for these too. We got a Marvel, The Incredible Hulk number 55. All right, it isn't, obviously the cover says only 25 cents, but I paid 70 cents for this comic. I'm telling you, it's in great shape. The spine is perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it's hide in plain sight part 1. So that means I can actually find my way and definitely try and get myself number 2. And then, of course, we got Web of Spider-Man, number 56, the non-mutant superhero, for 55 cents, ladies and gentlemen. Like, look at that. You know what I mean? Precise condition as well, so definitely something you can read and just kind of keep as a collector's item. And, of course, number 39 of Spider-Man for 90 cents. Yeah, that's right. I'm not lying to you guys. 90 fucking cents. I mean, this comic book shop is phenomenal. And then, of course, for $1.85 from 1992, The Mighty Thor guest starring the Amazing Spider-Man. The Mighty Thor for $1.85. And this comic book shop is filled with these kind of books, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, phenomenal. And, of course, 1989, the first appearance comic, okay? Look at that price. Yeah, man. Like, the first appearance of Sharon, man. I'm telling you, this is phenomenal. A great find. And then this one was for 40 cents. And it says right here at the top, tear in book cover, grade fair. Has some writing on the cover as well here, you know what I mean? But for 40 cents, how can I complain for 40 cents? You know what I mean? That's cheaper than a freaking payphone call here in Canada. So at the end of the day, it could be missing a cover. It's just something to read. Maybe you got to take a dump and you forgot your phone, but the comic book's closer. Grab the human fly, take a big meaty shit, enjoy a good Marvel story. You know what I mean? But anyway, 40 cents. It's still great for the collection. It's still something for you to read, right? And then, of course, I find this is in very great condition from 1977 for $2.50. All right. The Hands of Shenchi, Master of Kung Fu, number 51, man. Great condition. I'm probably not even going to read this. I'm probably just going to keep it in my collection with the rest of them. Because, honestly, it's in such great condition. Knowing my luck, I'd open it and probably something would happen, like I would drop it or rip it. So, that's just, knowing my luck, it's staying in the plastic because I collect those ones. And now we're going back into the Spider-Man for $1, and like legit $1. And this comic book shop, too, ladies and gentlemen, has absolutely no taxes. So you pay with cash, you don't pay tax. So whatever is on the book is how much you pay. So the Web of Spider-Man number 68, legit $1. Phenomenal book. I read that one when I was a kid. And then for $1.20, a 64-page Web of Spider-Man, the Evolutionary War, which is actually the first appearance of Slug, which is, and as you can tell, in great condition. First appearance of Slug, which I always called him. I always called him Kingpin, just a really bigger, fatter version. It's pretty much what he is, but I always just called him the super heavyweight version of Kingpin. And of course, for $2, the Web of Spider-Man, number 52. As a kid, I always loved this cover. I had this comic when I was a kid, but there's so many moves, I ended up losing it. But you know what I mean? For $2, you know what I mean? How can you go wrong for that, right? And of course, Guardians of the Galaxy, for $1.30. I saw this and I saw Doc Ock, one of my favorite Spider-Man villains of all time. Unfortunately, I already had this comic, and as I was buying comics, I have the app on my phone, CLZ Comics. So if you are a comic book fan as well, or a comic book collector, and you really want to get serious in comic book collecting, I would suggest getting the app CLZ Comics. You can pay $20 a month, $20 a year, or $1.99 or $1.95 Canadian per month. You can log all your comic books. It will tell you if it's a first appearance, if it has a gold key. It's a great app to have especially if you're going to comic book shops a lot. You can just pull out your phone and be like, do I have this book? And then you can look it up. See, I pay for the goddamn app, and I didn't do that today because I legit didn't think I had it. Sure enough, I tried logging the comic, and I already had it. So my wife, she is a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, so if I already have it, might as well just give it to her. At the end of the day, it's still in the same house, right? And of course, I know what, I'm going to save this one until last. I find this is the autograph comic, and it came with a COA. So, you know what, I'm going to save this one for last, because I just feel like that one I'm really proud of, because I think, I'll tell you the story behind this in a minute, but RoboCop for $2.50. This same comic I had when I was a kid, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I lost the comic. And I'm just so glad to actually have this book. I know people are like, man, it's RoboCop. Those comics suck balls. Doesn't matter at the end of the day. They might have sucked balls to you, but as a kid, being able to go back and read a book that you truly adored as a child doesn't get any better than that, man. Especially for $2.50 of RoboCop, you know? And that same issue I had when I was a kid as well. And of course, The Punisher, The Final Days, part 7 of 7. So obviously, I don't have the other issues, but for 80 cents, come on, man. From 1992, 80 cents, how are you going to go wrong, right? I realize I'm already 9 minutes into this video. You probably are like, goddamn, just shut the fuck up and get through the books. I'm trying my best here, okay? I have a lot of comics here. For $1.25, The Incredible Hulk from 1982. Jan at Last Century Comics graded this as fair. I would say it's more than fair, you know what I mean? Looking at the spine and everything, there's really no wear or tear on this comic. That is for $1.25. That's the price of a Tim Hortons donut, for fuck's sakes. And this one was really cool. This one was for $3. It's issue number 400, the 400th issue special. And it's a nice little, like, shiny cover. I don't know, man. I guess I'm kind of like a dog in a way. I'm like really attracted to shiny covers. I don't know. But but either way, at the end of the day, this was $3 for the 400th issue. Very flashy. I love it. And then of course, this same comic I had when I was a kid. It's from 1983, $2.15. X-Men, you know what I mean? This same comic, the same cover, number 188 I had when I was a kid. I read it so many times. I loved it. Getting back into the Spider-Man, you're going to realize when I do comic book hauls, if I can get good Spider-Man issues, I will get them. As much as I can afford, I will buy as many Spider-Man as humanly possible. This one is old as me, from 1994, so this is a 28-year-old comic. Issue 115, I got for $3.50. So that amazing comic. And then this one I got for 30 cents. When you see the cover, you're going to be like, man, that's mangled. Truthfully, for 30 cents, I don't really care. It's 30 cents at the end of the day. Being in 2022, tell me where the hell you can buy a comic for 30 cents. I'll wait. You know what I mean? So The Hands of Shenchai, Master of Kung Fu, number 39 for 30 cents. It's a little banged up, but I don't even mind, man. It's 30 cents, right? You know, me personally, with comics like this, I just open them up and read them. It's just something to read. So at the end of the day, if I can get a nice, good book and get at least a good 10, 15, 20 minutes of reading out of something for 30 cents, it's definitely worth my while. And of course, for $1, this is from 1996. This is number 202 of Marvel Tales starring Spider-Man. Got that one, which is phenomenal. I'm trying to get through this here. And of course, I almost completed a whole 4-part set today, but I'm missing one of them. This one is number 1 for $3, The Deadly Foes of Spider-Man. So that's actually pretty darn cool. And then this one is number 2, The Deadly Foes of Spider-Man, for $1.50. Which, great condition. Honestly, it looks like it hasn't been opened up in a long time, which is good. Might as well kick it off with this one actually next, since it's The Deadly Foes. And The Deadly Foes of Spider-Man, part 3 of 4 for $1.25. So I only need number 4, and then I have all 4 of that part of a set, which is really cool. And it's also hard as well to find 1, 2, and 3 at least of a part series like that, especially in one place at a comic book shop. Especially that old, at least, I should say, you know. This one I got for $2, number 10 of Spider-Man Classics, issue 10. Another great haul. And then, of course, for $1.80, Web of Spider-Man. This is part 1 of 2 of Can Even Spider-Man Help? So that's actually another great comic for $1.80. 1 second, guys. Got to wet the whistle quickly. I'm with my nice little Spider-Man cup. All right. And this one's actually really cool. For $3, 1986 Web of Spider-Man. Really in precise condition. It's the first appearance of Humbug, which I thought was pretty cool, because the first appearance of a villain, normally you can't find that for $3. Maybe some places you can, maybe a yard sale or something like that, but normally a lot of first appearances everybody is really getting a hold of lately and snagging them, so the prices are skyrocketing. So for $1.85, I got the Avengers guest starring the Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue 317. Excuse me, sorry. Excuse me. And of course, NFL Super Pro collector's item for $1, guest starring. Wait for it. Yeah, that's right, Spider-Man. This one was actually pretty cool. My wife actually pointed this one out. So we were obviously at the comic book shop, like no shit. And she handed me this NFL book, and she's like, "Hey, Spider-Man." And I'm like, "The fuck's NFL?" And I looked at it, and it looks really interesting. You know, an NFL with Spider-Man. So it's kind of like I was really interested in this. How I never read these, so the people that have read them are probably like watching this video, being like, "Dude, it's not that fucking complicated. It's football players and Spider-Man." you know. But I'm just excited to see how they made this work. So I'm definitely excited to sit back and read that, because I'm not gonna lie, I just found out today that that existed. This one is definitely a change from the list of comics that we actually just viewed during this video. But Married with Children, $20.99, and I got that for $2. I love Married with Children. I actually had the opportunity to meet Marcy Darcy, Marcy Darcy / Marcy Rhodes, this past year. Phenomenal individual. Grew up watching Married with Children, so when I saw this comic, my wife pointed it out. Easily, I think she already knew it was sold. And then, excuse me, this one I might as well just start them off quickly, because these are like the last four, and then we got two of the special ones that I'm really happy about. So we got The Fly Impact Comics. I'm going to hold them up like this to save some time here. The Fly issues 1 through 4. I know Impact Comics weren't really that big of a publisher. They did make some decent comics back in the 90s, but The Fly was one that I personally really enjoyed reading as a kid. So I got issue 1 for 90 cents, issue 2 for 90 cents. You know, fuck it. All 4 are 90 cents. You know what I mean? So if you look at this, 90 cents, 90 cents all the way through. So it's like, you can't go wrong, man. You can't go wrong at all. It's less than $4. So I'm going to go with this one. This is the one that I put to the side. So for $9.50, I got a signed Spider-Girl comic. Signed by the one and only, the individual that actually wrote the comic and did the artwork and whatnot. Just Tom. I couldn't believe it. So when I saw that Tom did this, as you can see, the COA is right at the back here. So when I saw this, you know, I had a few dollars left. I had like $95 to spend, but I really didn't want to spend all my money there, because I had to get gas money. If anyone knows Canada and the US right now, gas prices is ridiculous. So I wanted to save a little bit of money for gas, because I work at the Speedway. You have to get to work, right? At the end of the day, you got to be an adult. But I saw this and I was like, there's no way. I saw a $9 Spider-Girl comic, but I saw it says signed $9.50. So I was like, wait, what? So I brought it up, and I heard the comic book lady go, no, you must be, she said something like, there's no way, right? So, and then I brought it up to her, and I think she was definitely kicking herself in the ass for this one, because what she tells me is she has a lot of inventory in her store, and she's only open 1 day a week. So there's a lot of books that have different prices, a lot of the same books with different prices, because she can't go through the entire inventory and change the prices. So there's some books in there you'll find for 90 cents, $5, $8, $10, all be the same book, because she cannot change the inventory, because she's the only one that works there, right? So I think she probably put this in with Spider-Girl, probably realized it's worth a lot more money than $9.50. And since I found it, you know what I mean? She probably was like, oh, God, I could have got so much more for that, but I got it for that price. So a COA autographed comic, so you know it's the real person, for $9.50. There's the autograph, guys. Look at that. With the official COA and the stamp. So this is definitely a cool treasure. I told the wife what I'm gonna do is I'm going to keep it in a safe spot for now, but I'm going to get a nice little frame and actually frame the comic and the COA side by side. So the next one is a great find, but also a depressing find as well, because man, it hurts. Give me a second. So, as I said during the video, I'm a huge fan of Shenshi, Master of Kung Fu, huge fan. So for 60 cents, grade poor, which I'm fine with, you know what I mean? For this age, it's hard to find something in really precise condition. Number 1, first appearance of Shenshi. Yes, that's right, guys. The very first issue of Master of Kung Fu. As you can already see here in the video, there's a big crease through it. You know what I mean? As you can tell right up here, there's it's almost like someone put tape on it and ripped it, which I'm fine with. You know what I mean? I would open this comic, but unfortunately, I've already dealt with a mold problem before. Yeah, I already revealed it. The back of the cover, so back right behind this board, there's mold all through the spine, which hurts me so fucking much because 60 cents, I don't even care if the book is looking like this, man. This is the first appearance of Shang-Chi written by the late great, who I look at as a god, Stan Lee. So it hurts my heart. I don't really know what to do because I don't want the mold to spread through to my other comic books. I don't want the mold to spread at my house. So like I can't throw it out. You get what I'm saying? And I also don't want to. So I'm definitely gonna give it a read because at the end of the day, it's Master of Kung Fu #1. I would honestly feel like as a comic book fan, why in the hell would I not at least read this once? I'm gonna look up on the internet and maybe I've never dealt with multi comics before. I never have. There might be a way. Maybe I can save it. But if I have to and it's gonna hurt me to do, I might have to take the back cover off. It's already in poor condition. It's already 60 cents that I paid for it, as you can tell. For people that don't believe me at home, you know, you can definitely see in the video the wear and tear on it. But for 60 cents, I'm #1 a Master of Kung Fu. It hurts my heart just to see that mold, but it's a 1976 comic, you know. At the end of the day, what can you do? So I'm going to give it a read. I'm going to maybe... I know a few people that are into comic books that are really into like restoration. Maybe there's a way they can work their magic and maybe take the mold out. I don't know if that's possible, but I'll figure it out. I know I paid 60 cents for the comic, but just something that I really enjoy to read. I would love to just put that in with my collection. I have a lot of first appearances, but I don't have a first appearance on the such a prestigious level as Shang-Chi. So hopefully I can figure it out and get it fixed, or at least get the mold to kind of die, if that makes sense. I'm probably just talking on my ass right now. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but hopefully I can figure it out. But until then, a great find, but a depressing find. So, you can find some great books, and I'm first and foremost want to say, none of her other books are like this. It's 60 cents. She states right on the condition, grade poor. You know what I mean? So she grades your comics. She tells you pretty much what you're buying before you even buy it. Phenomenal comic book shop. Make sure you check them out. They're on the Second Concession Road in Brockville, Ontario, just past the Walmart. So as you're going towards Prescott and Maitland area, right before Hall's Apple Market, and just a little past the old Parkdale Animal Hospital. That's where she's located. Phenomenal store. She runs from the first week of April, I believe she said, until the last week of October. And then she puts the rest of her stuff online. So I'll drop the address below in this video. This was my haul today. I went there last Saturday and got a freaking haul for like $30 like this. She's wonderful customer service. She definitely is there to help you. If there is something that you want that you don't see on her shelf, she'll tell you if she has it, and if she does, she'll actually go in the back and bring it out to you. My wife is a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. My wife isn't really into the superheroes. She really loves the horror comics. So she asked if she had Buffy. She found like 2 comics on her shelf. She went back and got her a whole stack. So my wife got pretty much the first dibs. So if you're looking for Buffy the Vampire Slayer at this store, my wife beat you to it, man. Okay? There's only one left, and it's one my wife already had. So definitely shout out to Jen. Her name is Jen Segman. I knew her since I was a kid. She's a phenomenal comic book owner. Her and her husband have been doing this for years. So make sure you check them out in Brockville. Slide on through. There was people in the store today from they drove all the way from way past Toronto. They drove like 450 miles just to visit this store alone. So you know what? That will tell you something. That if someone's driving that far to check out this store, she definitely has some great inventory and definitely knows what she's doing. I'm so glad just to know that a comic book store that I went to as a child is kind of back in, I'd say kind of, because it's not what I remember, right? I remember going to Purse Street, downtown Brockville, going to their location. Now I'm going to their actual property where they actually have a house, where they have this big, giant, like, they actually have their own store on their own property. It's actually really cool. So check them out. Last Century Comics. You can find number ones in a lot better condition than this. I'm just a cheap ass and I like buying the cheap comics. Or you can also find other signed comics. There's also other signed comics for only $20, and each one of them has the COA. You know what I mean? So you know it's real. So check them out.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look